बुधवार चैत्र कृष्ण चतुर्थी दिनांक 4 एप्रिल 2018 चरक चिकित्सा स्थान अध्याय 23 सूत्र क्रमांक 6 गंगाधर टीका। शंखं चक्रं जलकान्दततमृतकटं चारुदौर्भिश्चतुर्भिः सूक्ष्मस्वच्छातिरुद्यांशुकपरिविलसन् मौलिमम्भोजनेत्रं कालाम्भोदोज्ज्वलाङ्गं कटितटविलसच्चारुपीताम्बराढ्यं वन्दे धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रौढदावाग्निलीलम् ब्रह्मणो हि समारब्धामाश्रेयान्तेषु पूजिताम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् आयुर्वेदरतं वन्दे माधवाख्यं महागुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं शिष्येभ्यो यः प्रदत्तवान् द्रष्टाज्ञानी दृष्टकर्मा कृतकर्मा तथैव च अध्यापकोऽभिषक्श्रेष्ठो महान् संशोधकस्तथा गुणैरेतैः समुदितैः यत्कार्यं प्रतनोति सः समृद्ध्यर्थं हि कार्यस्य वयं प्रयतामहे प्रसादात् पुण्यकर्मभिः बुद्धिदर्पणसङ्क्रान्तं जगदध्यक्षं वीक्षते निर्वेदजगद्गुरुम् आयुर्वेदामृतं सर्वं गृहीत्वा हि सुरेश्वरात् अग्निवेशादिकेभ्यो यत्प्रयच्छत् मुनिसत्तमः प्रथमं तन्त्रकर्तारम् अग्निवेशं नमाम्यहम्। अद्य बुधवासरः चैत्र कृष्ण चतुर्थी दिनांक 4 एप्रिल 2018 चरक चिकित्सा स्थान अध्याय 23 विषय चिकित्सित सूत्र क्रमांक 6 मुस्तकं पुष्पकं क्रौञ्च वत्सनाभं बलाहकं कर्कटं कालकूटं च करवीरकसंज्ञकं पालकेन्द्रायुधं तैलं मेघकं कुशपुष्पकं रोहिषं पुष्पुण्डरीकं च लाङ्गलाञ्जन नाभकं लाङ्गलकाञ्जनाभकम् संकोचं मर्कटं शृंगी विषं हालाहलं तथा एवमादीनि चान्यानि मूलजानि स्थिराणि च। So these are all मूलज and स्थावर or स्थिर विषास। स्थावर योनि विषमाः मुस्तकम् इत्यादि। मुस्तकादि संज्ञानि मूलानि स्थिराणि विषाणि। यद्यपि सुश्रुते च उक्तं स्थावरं जंगमं चैव द्विविधं विषमुच्यते दशाधिष्ठानम् आद्यं तु द्वितीयं षोडशाश्रयम्। सुश्रुत संहितायाम् उक्तं यत् स्थावरं जंगमं चैव द्विविधं विषं द्विविधम् उच्यते। आद्यं नाम स्थावरं दशाधिष्ठानं द्वितीयं तु षोडशाश्रयम्। षोडशाश्रयाः जंगमस्य विषयस्य मूलं पत्रं फलं पुष्पं त्वक् क्षीरं सार एव च निर्यासो धातवश्चैव कन्दश्च दशमः स्मृतः। तानि तानि दश अधिष्ठानानि इत्याह मूलं पत्रं पुष्पं फलं पुष्पं त्वक् क्षीरम् एवमादीनि दश अधिष्ठानानि स्थावरस्य विषस्य तत्र क्लीतक अश्वमार गुंजा सुगंध गर्गर करघाट विधीय। I think we have read this. कालकूट वत्सनाभ सर्षप कपालक कर्दमक वैराटक मुस्तक शृंगी विष प्रपौंडरीक मूलक हालाहल महा विपत्कंटकानि इति त्रयोदश कन्दविषाणि इत्येवं पञ्चपञ्चाशत् स्थावरविषाणि भवन्ति. So these are total 55 Sthavara Vishas or something like that. गरम संयोगजं चान्यद् गरसौन्यं गतप्रदं कालांतर विपाकित्वात् तदाशु न तत् आशु हरेदसु निद्रां तन्द्रां क्लमं दाहम् अपाकं रोमहर्षणं शोथं चैवातिसारं च कुरुते जङ्गमं विषम्. So गरम संयोगजं चान्यद् गरसौन्यं गतप्रदम्. There is one visha by combination sanyogaja that is called as gara visha gadaprada. It gives this is it. Kalantar vipakitvan natad ashu hares. And since it has a vipaka after some time frame, it doesn't kill the person immediately. Nidra tandraklama daha apaka loma harshana shotha and atisara. Now these may not be understood as symptoms arising of Jangama Vishnu. So one may be cautious about knowing them. Stavarantu jaram hikam dantaharshan galagraham fenat charde ruchi shwasan murcham funcha janedrusham. Now Jangama Visha is having adhogati, so it creates atisara, and Savara Visha is having urdhvagati. So Dwara Hikka Dantaharsha Galagraha Fenachardi Aruchi Shwasa Murcha. षट्चैव सर्षपान्याहु शेषापि एकैकमेव च इति तथापि मुस्तकादिकन्दविषयाणि तथैव मादीनि च अन्यानि मूलजानि स्थिराणि च इत्यत्या पत्रपुष्पादीनि सङ्गृहीतानि इह चान्यानि इति पदेन ततो न विरोधः. So there should be some controversy between Charak and Sushrut that he tries to justify. गरम इत्यादि आभ्याम अन्यद् विषं गरम तत्तु संयोगजं गरसंज्ञं गतप्रदं भवेत्. गतप्रतत्वात् विषं कालान्तरे विपाकित्वात् तद्गरम आशु न असून हरेत्. निद्राम इत्यादि जंगम विषयस्य निद्रादिकं सामान्यं लग्नेन स्थावरन्तु इत्यादि स्थावर विषयस्य ज्वरादिकं सामान्यं कर्म. Doesn't comment much on that. जांगमं स्यात् ऊर्ध्वभागम् अधोभागं तु मूलजम् तस्मात् दंष्ट्रा विषं मौलं हन्ति मूलं च दंष्ट्रिजम्. So Jangama is urdhvabhaga and Mulaja is adhobhaga. Tasta Davshtra Visham Maulam Hanti Mulan cha Damstrijam. So Damshtra Visha can kill Maula Visha and Mula Visha can kill Damstrija Visha. So Sthavara and Jangama both are Vishas, but both are having opposite characteristics. One is going upwards, other is going downwards. And hence they can destroy each other, and this is one of the important aspect. तयोर गतिभेदमाह जंगमं स्यात् इत्यादि जंगमं यह दंष्ट्राविषम मूल विषयोः एव अर्ध ऊर्ध्वगति अधोगति स्वभावात् परस्परोपघातित्वं न तु अन्येषां पुष्पादि लालादि विषाणां गतिभेदेऽपि परस्परोपघातित्वं तत्स्वभावात्. So Jangama here is Damshtra Visha and another is Mula Visha, Sthavara. So only those have opposite characteristics. Jangama is having urdhvagati and Mula Visha is having adhogati. Nattu Annesham Pushpadi Laladi Vishanam. So Pushpadi and Laladi Visha are not opposite to each other. Only the Mula Visha and the Ushtra Visha, they are opposite to each other. Visheshanam Uktam Sushrute Budveshtanam Mula Visha Pralapaha Moha Evasha Jumbango Dveshtana Shvasaha Neya Patra Vishenatu Mula Vishehi Ase Pralapaha Moha Evacha. So Mula Visha can cause Udveshtana Pralapa Moha Jumbha Anga Udveshtana Shvasaha Neya Patra Vishenatu. So this is characteristics of Patra Visha. Bushka Shofa Phala Vishehi Dahonna Dvesha Evacha Bhavet Pushpa Vishesh Chardihi Admanam Moha Evacha Svaksara Niryasa Vishay Rupayuktahi Bhavantihi Asya Daurganda Parushya Shirarukapa Samsravaha. So Tvaksara Niryasa, this leads to Asya Daurganda Parushya Shirarukapa Samsravaha. Fenagama Kshira Vishay Vidbedo Jibhata Rutpidanam Dhatu Vishayhi Murcha Dahascha Taluni. Prayana Kalaghatini Vishan Netani Nirvishet. So these kill after some time or something like that. Kandajani tu tikshani tesham vakshani vistaram. Sparsha jnanam kalakuter vepathu stambha evacha greva bhango vatsanabhe pitta vinmutra netrata. Sarshape vata vaigunyam anaho grantijanmecha greva daurbalya vaksan gopalakke anumatau iha. Praseka kardamakyantu vidbhedo नेत्र पीतता वैराटकेनांग दुःखम शिरो रोगश्च जायते गात्रस्तंभो वेपतुश्च जायते मुस्तकेन तु शृंगी विषेण अंगसाद दाहो दरविवृद्धयः पुंडरीकेण रक्तत्वम् अक्ष्णोर्वृद्धिस्तथोदरे वैवर्ण्यं मूलकैः भिक्का शोभप्रमूढताः चिरेण उच्छ्वसिति शावो नरो हालाहलेन वै महाविषेण हृदये ग्रन्थिशूलोत्तमोभृशम् कर्कटेनोत्पतत्यूर्ध्वं हसन् दन्तान् दशत्यपि. So these are symptoms like Grahabadha. Gandhajani ugraviryaani prayuktani त्रयोदश सर्वाणि कुशलज्ञैः यान्येतानि दशभिर्गुणैः कुशलैर्ज्ञेयानि एतानि दशभिर्गुणैः रूक्षमुष्णं तथा तीक्ष्णं सूक्ष्ममाशु व्यवायिष विकाशि विशदं चैव लघ्वपार्थिक तत् स्मृतम् इति. Anyway, what I feel right now that we have varieties of poisons that are being used by conventional medicine today. And how to tackle them is a big problem. So this might be one of the ways to look at. Actually, the whole thought process started with chemotherapeutic drugs. And these are poisons. And truly speaking, this is a totally new variety of poisons. And that is not natural, something unnatural kind of thing that has been created through organic chemistry as such. So where to fit all these and how to counteract them. This is a big issue. And the same is true for all allopathic drugs. So we just say that these are poisonous and should not be used, truly speaking. But what kind of poison it is and how to counteract it, this is a tough job to do. So one way is to look at the symptoms and try to match the symptoms with the side effects of these drugs. Now in chemotherapy, certain
केमोथेरपी वगैरे ते आता 2-4 लोकांनी सांगितलं की ते केलं की एचबी कमी होतं, अमुक केलं की अमुक हे कमी होतं किंवा इंड्यूस डायबिटीस होतो. हा एक प्रश्न. आणि दुसरा एक प्रश्न असा की आता समजा उंदरांवरची विष आहे किंवा अमुक कशावरची विष आहे, तर त्याचं काय आहे की आता झुरळ येऊ नयेत म्हणून ते मारतात, त्यात पण काहीतरी हे असणारच ना, त्या विषयांचं काय?
Now, there are varieties of poisons used in day-to-day practice. That is another issue. We have disturbed the whole chain, natural chain in the universe or ecology. Now, in universe, things are governed by certain laws. And Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. This is really true. So if you destroy something, it leads to destruction of many others or something like that, because there are many things dependent on that. The Silent Spring book emphasizes on effect of DDT as such for killing mosquitoes. And further, how it has led to total destruction of ecology, and that killed the fish, small fish. Those were big fish were dependent on those small fish, etc., etc. So there is a chain like that, and the whole chain is disturbed in this way. So nature tries to combat and bring back the situation to normalcy. Now we are doing something which is very much against nature. And ultimately that is destroying the nature, that is destroying us as well, or something like that. So we try to find out short-term solutions to varieties of problems. So we have pest control in our houses or clinics or something like that. And even if we do it herbal or something like that, that should be less hazardous. But ultimately, it is something like a poison for the creatures, and we need to understand that this is going to harm in the long run or something like that. But the whole farming industry, now it has turned into an industry, is based on the inputs we give and the outputs we get, and the profit of that out of that. And then to control pests, the easiest way is to use pesticides or chemical fertilizers, etc., etc., to have more production, or to give hormones to have more production or something like that. And creating them artificially, that is the most dangerous part of it. So getting away from nature, preparing the things in labs, chemical labs, and putting them into the nature. This is what is happening right now. So anyway,
नाही पण एक प्रश्न मला आहे तो असा आहे की जर एखाद्या ड्रगला सिगरेट म्हणून म्हणजे आता ते ॲझोलॉन किंवा त्याच्या आयसोलॉन म्हणा त्याच्या बाकी अर्थाने जर फायदा दिसत असेल तर तो हेतूच आहे इतर सगळ्या याचा तर तो जाण्यासाठी आपण काय देऊ शकतो असं एक आणि दुसरं त्याचं जे हजार्स आहेत त्याला आपण हेतू न टाळता देणं हे उत्तर बरोबर आहे का म्हणजे तुला बदल म्हणून काहीतरी देतो आणि केव्हा म्हणून काहीतरी देतो
symptomatic relief is a short-term solution, long-term evil, and that is what is happening right now.
नाही पण जसं ते उपद्रवामध्ये सांगतात की ठीक आहे उपद्रव तुम्ही बंद करण्याची औषधं द्या तसाच इथे नाही का प्रश्न की तुम्ही ड्रग तर बंद करणं नाही शक्य.
It is possible. Now, this will be a very big topic to discuss as such. Now, what should be our way of thinking? Whether we should have integration or not. This is a very big issue as such. Very basic thought process as such. Long back, I had thought why integration, to talk on why integration or something like that. And probably people will feel that I should be against integration. And that will be quite surprising if I speak in favor of integration or something like that. And even Ayurvedic people will start blaming it or something like that. But in the large interest of the humanity as such, this might be one step ahead towards humanity. Ultimately, we go for only Ayurveda and natural medicines as such till we establish ourselves across the globe. Now, whether it will be possible for us to lead towards that path or not, that's a question. But initially, when conventional medicine is number one medicine today, accepted as scientific system or something like that, and it has so many lacunae or something. So one way is to propagate Ayurveda for its principles and fundamentals which are not changing and keep on emphasizing that how it is scientific and how it is immortal, Shashwata or something like that, and how the principles are applicable in any time frame, anywhere, global or something like that. But still, we are very minor group. I may say minor is a short word. We are meager. It's not that it's countable in fingers or something like that. Not even countable in fingers. In such a scenario, when the whole process is not going to change drastically, and humanity is victimized, or the global community is getting victimized due to use of conventional medicine, this is just one part of that iceberg. The total chemical revolution, so to say, unnatural things, is the main culprit behind that. And there is no thought process. Those who are thinking about these are in minority. and integration is needed only in Shalyatantra and Atteka Chikitsa. I disagree about that. What I am thinking is a much broader perspective of integration, and you are talking about a small portion, and when the two sciences have their own identity and have their own scopes and limitations, come together to benefit each other and to benefit the society, and to have a holistic view, holistic perspective of anything, integration is required. But our base itself is not broad enough or not proper or something like that. These should be two sciences as such coming together. No doubt Ayurveda is a science, but is modern medicine scientific or is modern medicine a science? That's a big question. And I'm surely of opinion that it's not a science. Now, if I start expressing like this, then people will not tolerate that. And instead of saying that it is not scientific, what we can say is the approach is focused in today's sciences, and we should have holistic approach for any subject, may it be health, may it be housing, may it be farming, may it be anything else or something like that. What has happened, the so-called development has occurred with particular viewpoint, and the benefits are explained on the basis of that, mostly in terms of monetary gain, something like that. And they forget about other aspects of the thing, same thing, which when you are sitting in a particular sphere and watching the sphere from inside, your vision is limited to that sphere. You can't see outside. At least the sphere should be transparent, and then you see other spheres as well around you or something. And really, if you are out of the sphere, then you see varieties of spheres, and still you might be in a very, very big sphere or something like that. You don't see beyond your sphere or something. This is a broader view. We have learned set theory long back in mathematics when I was in science. In intersecting spheres and totally different sphere or something like that, and this all may become a part of a very big sphere or maybe square or something like that. And still there can be many spheres, many squares like this. And then what's reality? That's a big issue. So if there are two sciences as such, and they try to integrate or something like that, then that's a different story. Truly speaking, Ayurveda, or for that matter, all ancient Indian sciences, are holistic in nature. And even when there is a focused approach, that becomes an integral part of the whole study as such. When I was thinking about the relationship between original text and Tiskanda Kosha, I just tried to explain is that Ashtadhyayi and Siddhanta Kaumudi. Siddhanta Kaumudi is a focused approach like Tiskanda Kosha, and study of original text is holistic approach as such. If we study both, then we have better chances of understanding. So if you want to concentrate on a particular thing, then you need a focused approach. And that is what is being done in today's research, in today's sciences. They have a focused approach with a focused outcome, intended focused outcome. I want to have more yield from the same land. This is my objective or something like that. So what are the factors involved? The seed is involved, the soil is involved, the water is involved, the environment is involved, growth factors are involved, etc., etc. So where can I focus and where can I get more yield? Okay, traditionally we have seeds preserved from previous year and we bow them, and those have particular what you can say yield from that. How about making hybridization and looking for new species which will give in more yield? So put research for that, and you get hybridized varieties or something. Then you realize that even this doesn't work to the extent we want or something like that. Then what are the problems? The pest or the organism, microorganisms, etc., which cause diseases to the plants or animals or something like that. That's a big problem. So how to destroy them? Okay, this products from petrochemical arising from organic chemistry is worth trying, and it works to control the pest, and then the yield increases. What can be done more about this? We can use chemical fertilizers instead of going for biofertilizers or something like that, and that also enhances the yield, etc., etc. So the research in today's sciences is a focused approach. They don't consider what are the other effects of using pesticides. So then further it is revealed that it kills the germs that we need to kill, but it also kills other germs which are useful for us, say like this earthworm, etc., etc. And so in nature there was a mechanism to control these kinds of diseases, and we have lost that control. The nature doesn't have any more control about that. And in the long run, the whole soil is spoiled, the water is spoiled, the crops are spoiled, everything is spoiled. And that is leading to varieties of diseases, including cancer and other diseases as such. And not only to human beings, these are to animals, these are to even crops. So even crops are having cancers now. So, I know. So, these effects were not thought of because our approach was focused and we just intended to kill the microorganisms which hamper our production or something like that. And with that, we introduced these poisons into the system or in the universe globally. So, the best thing to do is to develop holistic view first. Just saying that your your approach is for this, and this is a focused approach. This has certain output or something like that, certain benefits in the form of increase in production for a while. Ultimately, that is dangerous. And if we weigh the benefits and the losses, we'll see that the losses are more and benefits are less. These are very short-term benefits or something like that. And whether we want to go for long-term benefit or sustainable benefit or short-term benefit, that's a big issue. Now there is a concept of sustainable development. Initially, there was issue of development, and it was all associated with growth factor as such. If we are losing happiness in that, is that what we desire for that or something like that? So the contentment of life, the satisfaction of life is anyway more important. And if we are not getting that, then what's the use of these? So first thing that we need to do is try to develop holistic approach for today's sciences, and see the after effects, long-term effects, etc., etc., of anything that we start doing or something, and at least try to minimize the long-term evils of these. How that can be minimized, that one has to think. With the help of natural resources as such. So our problem, today's problem, is energy crisis. There are varieties forms of energies, and that are being used. Now this whole development of petrochemical products was introduced because they found that there are large quantities of them in the earth, and so there was development of this automobile industry, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, aeroplanes, etc., etc., using those petrochemical products in the form of petrol or diesel. Now scientists are fearing that no longer this will be source of energy, and these are diminishing now, and over a period there will be scarcity of petrol, diesel, etc., etc. So then what will happen to this industry, automobile industry? So let us try to switch over to other resources. So which are other energy sources? So sun is one of the energy source, heat energy or something like that. Now in countries like India, where it is abundantly available, we should have focused on solar energy much before. Unfortunately, we have not. And natural resources, now we have growing population is one of the important problems of India or China for that matter. The land remains the same, the population keeps on growing. So the resources are limited, and there are more people consuming it or something like that. No doubt wars happen, and people are killed in numbers or something like that, and nature tries to restore the balance or something. But if we really want to have a sustainable growth or sustainable development or something like that, we need to have holistic approach, and as far as possible try to use natural resources, and also we should be growing them. Natural resources should be growing. Sunlight is available, and that's going to be there for many thousand years. So that's not an issue. But the plant resources, the animal resources, etc., these are limited. And if we want to use them as energy sources or fuels or something like that, then this is not going to last long or something. So anyway, this was much more diversion from the original subject. We started with chemicals and the things, and this is a big issue that we are living in most unnatural world today. Our housing, our clothing, our food material, our vehicles, everything is unnatural. And as against what we were doing 50, 60 years before, things were very much natural at that time. But the revolution, chemical revolution particularly, and industrialization, this is a big blow, and we are not understanding the long-term effects of this. Now, very few people have realized it. But now we are so much accustomed to what we can say, the facilities that are available due to these devices as such, that we don't want to lose those facilities, and so don't want to get rid of those devices as such. And then that's a big issue. Many times by integration, people taken away from doing Ayurveda Nidan, and then they do modern diagnosis, and on that platform, and Ayurveda Chikitsa. In turn, these so-called Ayurveda people think that allopathic doctors think in allopathic way for a disease. I don't understand what you say. There are disadvantages in the integrated approach. There is no doubt about that. Loss of thinking capacity in pure Ayurvedic perspective is the most important disadvantage of integrated approach. So we should not lose that. We should be uh, having Ayurvedic approach properly. So as what I said, that we are born and brought up in today's sciences up till 12th standard or maybe higher education. Now what is happening in MD and PhD in Ayurveda? These are all modern sciences that are influencing our MD subjects and other things. And real Ayurvedic research is not emerging from that. So our basic thought process has to change. Now it is very difficult to change that thought process. So my approach is to keep on increasing study of ancient Indian sciences like Ayurveda, and not only Ayurveda, maybe allied other sciences, maybe Naya, Sankhya, Vedanta, Vedic mathematics, and astrology, astronomy, etc., etc. So whatever it may be, also all ancient Indian sciences, or even for economy, Chanakya, Arthashastra, or something like that. So keep on enriching ancient Indian wisdom, and so that the effect of modern sciences become very less. As I said, we already have drawn a line. We feel that that's a very big line, and that is the truth, or something like that. When we start understanding ancient Indian sciences, we can draw another very big line of ancient Indian sciences, and then the line of this modern sciences becomes very small. And then to certain extent, we may try to integrate things from that in our science or something. Now, this is a very big thought, and truly speaking, if we keep on enriching these things to wider extent and start integrating things in a way. I had said about this that cisplatin is one of the chemotherapy drugs and used for cancer, particular cancers. CSR worked on combination of Gomutra with cisplatin, and they found that Gomutra can enhance the activity of cisplatin, and then the dose can be reduced, having the same effect. Now, this is a major achievement because once the dose is reduced, the side effects are reduced, the cost is reduced. So, this is a major breakthrough in allopathic medicine or something like that. Now, they patented this in US, and then Cadila is one of the allopathic company, drug manufacturing company. It purchased that patent and marketed cisplatin with Gomutra. Now this is integrated output, so to say. Now the integration is one wants to use cisplatin. It is effective in particular diseases, particular types of cancer. It has so many side effects. The cost is very high, and the side effects are due to the prescribed dose or something like that. If we are able to reduce the dose without compensating the quality of the action, that is fine. So this is one example like that. So anyway, people are going to use allopathic medicines another 25, 50 years or so, something like that. It's very difficult for us to establish Ayurveda as a full-fledged system across the globe and preferred by choice or something. So till then, the whole global community is at stake and is prone to varieties of side effects and other things. So what can be done to avoid that? One important aspect is to reduce the dose of allopathic drugs and some other thing. There is one company, J&J Dishen in Hyderabad, and it is manufacturing combined medicines, allopathy and Ayurvedic drugs mixed together. and there are certain people who do practice it or something like that. Now, whether that approach is correct or not, that is still an issue. But this might be working well, at least in reducing the side effects of the drug. So, first thing that we try to establish that if we really want to be scientific, then we should establish cause-effect relationship. When conventional medicine wants to establish itself as a science, then it should have a firm base of cause-effect relationship with your day-to-day life. The cause-effect relationship is a microorganism is causing a particular infectious disease, and killing that microorganism cures this disease. This kind of cause-effect relationship they do have, and they boast on that. But again, in holistic approach, this is not the only cause-effect relationship associated with microorganisms and diseases. There are other factors associated in getting a disease from microorganisms. The loss of immunity is one of the important aspects. Then why shouldn't we emphasize on increasing the immunity? And how can we increase the immunity? Ayurveda has answers. Sahaja Kalaja and Yuktikurta Bala or something like that. So there can be an integration of Ayurveda for improving immunity, and that can be proved on the basis of today's parameters. That is quite possible. And the effects can be seen in maintenance of health, effects can be seen in conquering diseases like cancer, etc. etc. So, this kind of integration of thoughts also may work. But one has to identify that microorganism causing infectious disease and killing microorganism cures the disease. This is not the only scientific base. There are other aspects. So this is a focused approach, beneficial for the pharmaceutical company. But there are other aspects associated with this, and where to kill those organisms in universe, outside our body or within our body. This is one of the holistic approaches. Who should kill that organism? Where our immunity should kill it or a drug should kill it or something like that. If our immunity wants to kill it or we want our immunity to kill it, then how that is possible or something like that. On what factors is our immunity dependent? So it's better to have a holistic approach for any particular subject. What is happening is it's a focused approach for a small objective, and once that is achieved, people are happy that we have conquered malaria, we have conquered tuberculosis, we have conquered so on, something like that. In true sense, it is not. But who thinks of the future in general, of a long-term thing as in general? And this is how रसौषधी व काही विषद्रव्ये यांचे सहाय्याने कॅन्सरमध्ये आपणही अधिक प्रभावी लाक्षणिक चिकित्सा डेव्हलप करू शकतो. That is true. ultimately, I am really of opinion that Rasashastra will be our rescue point. There is no doubt about that. And अल्पमात्रोपयोगित्वात् अरुचेरप्रसंगतः क्षिप्रमारोग्यदायित्वात् औषधिभ्यो विघोरसः. Because these are all poisons. Mercury is itself a poison, copper is poison, Vatsanav is poison or something like that. And our sages, people like Nagarjuna, etc., have converted those poisons into very good medicines. So it's really a boon for us. And if we are able to use them effectively, we'll have that kind of instantaneous symptomatic relief, etc., etc. So, what to do in today's era? How to deal with the patients, and when there is a cutthroat competition like this, when the allopathy is giving symptomatic relief and people are getting attracted towards that, our approach is very basic, holistic. Still, it is very difficult for people to understand that approach. Mhm. So we keep on emphasizing on holistic approach. When I started the series, writing series in Sakar, Vaidika Vishwa Vihangamavalokan, that's really very big holistic approach. I'm talking of medical world as such, not only the clinical practices or particular disease or something like that. But people they really don't want to go into the deeper aspects of these. They just want short-term solutions or something like that. And anyway, when we are dealing with the patients, we need to have short-term solutions. What can be done right now or something like that? Where we lack and what is required in this particular situation or something like that. But to me, the best thing to do is keep on spreading. One is cause-effect relationship and its varieties of aspects as such, and then try start introducing ancient Indian sciences into today's sciences. That this would be of help. Ayurveda would be of help. Yoga will be of help, or Arthashastra will be of help, or something like that. And people may accept it in a better manner or something like that. And this should be practical, of course. There is no doubt that this should be very much practical. So anyway, this was a total diversion, but I think when we are trying to read the topic on Visha and what relevance does it have? Because we are not going to treat cases of snake bite and scorpion bite, or for that matter, poisonous trees, etc., etc. But we are going to deal with today's chemical world, which are all toxins, which are all vishas, and how do we combat them? That's a big issue. So I think we need to establish relevance of this topic with today's world that we are facing, today's problems that we are facing, and try to come out with solutions from this chapter or something like that. This is again an integrated approach, but understanding the situation, understanding in the Ayurvedic perspective, and trying to find answers from Ayurvedic texts. That is what my approach is. This is the same I tried in cancer, the same I try in the Hridroga. Now I have yesterday finished writing article on effect of blood pressure on kidney. So therein I started on blood pressure, writing on blood pressure itself. So that article may get published tomorrow in Sakar. So do read, and this is going to be take another 3-4 articles to talk on blood pressure itself. in integrated approach or something like that. And then we go further. Anyway, we stop here. आयुर्वेदः प्रकाण्डो निगदितैः हि शल्यतन्त्रप्रधानः शिष्येभ्यः शाश्वतोऽयं निखिलजनकृपा व्याप्तचित्तेन येन आयुर्वेदस्य वाञ्छन् पुनरपि भुवने ताञ्च सुष्ठु प्रतिष्ठां श्रेष्ठं धन्वन्तरिं तं प्रणमति च सदा वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् वैद्यवर्गो हि नूनम् विरम्यते व्याख्यानव्यापारात् श्वः पुनरपि मिलिष्यामः.
जमलं नाही.